AUD serves up 1v1 between, in the green it is Khanomancer versus in the blue it's Twizzy. Khanomancer, I don't think we've seen them before, right? No, I don't think so. Anyways, there is Nod, whereas Twizzy is going Nod as well. With a slightly strange Hand of Nod placement, I would say. Having it like up here would allow you for like quicker expansion to this place and the same speed expansion to this. But I mean, maybe they know better. They probably know better. Anyways, over here, a refinery out. One of them, over here, 2 refineries out. This one is going to be pretty much exactly the same efficiency as the one for Twizzy, whereas this one will be slightly less efficient. Another quite efficient harvester, and now what is Twizzy going to do? Are they already going for an airstrip? They could, of course, and they're slightly slower because they moved their construction yard, or at least didn't deploy it immediately. So, okay, 3 harvesters on this patch. I believe that's going to run out, like, relatively quickly, or at least, like, the efficiency is not going to be great. Over here, with, like, spread out over 3 different fields, it's going to be way longer until Khanomancer runs out of Tiberium. But, of course, like, 3 efficient harvesters is going to be quite nice for Twizzy, because they do still have to catch up about, like, 800 in total harvest. Now, airstrip is out. Airstrip over here will be slightly later. Will be here, maybe? Or here, because this would make you, like, get you close to this field. Not really sure where it's going to land, because I do assume you're building it as well. There it is, and that gets you to, like, there with a refinery. No, power plant there, and then there the refinery. Maybe, or like even there. Oh, that's far forwards though. Not something we've seen before. Hand of Nod first, okay. No eco at all. Anyways, over here, well, Khanomancer with like airstrip getting up a couple of buggies and spidering on over to one of the bigger fields on the map. They've already got their 4th refinery. Now it's out for Twizzy as well. And yeah, it's almost in the middle of the map. Like, why there? I guess it makes it a little more efficient because you're in like on the long side of the field. So I guess that is kind of worth it, maybe. And you get this field as well. Which I don't think we've actually seen anyone use these fields yet. Or at least not with an actual refinery, have we? I don't think so. Anyways, Twizzy are -5 power, by the way. So they did lose a 1 HP on everything. Wow. And Khanomancer with the very beautiful buggies moving in. And what does Twizzy have to defend? They've got their buggies in front, but not a lot else. They do pull their buggies this way, and they have quick reinforcements. So they should be able to drive Khanomancer away. And they do indeed. However, bikes and buggies on this side for Khanomancer. Scouting pretty okay. Scouting for Twizzy is a lot better though. And Khanomancer now also going to this field. Okay, a little spread out maybe. Not that that's a bad thing, but I would have assumed you were going for this field first. Because this one is tiny. And going all the way here, then you're like really spread out. You do have a lot of map control then, but you need to defend all of that map as well. And those southern fields, they're closer to Twizzy's base. And that's also in like pretty much where people place their like second airstrip. So, over here, well, bikes and buggies combined should be able to deal more damage, but, well, if the bikes get micro down, it's going to be quite okay for Twizzy anyways. Might be able to deal with 1 harvester, but nope, they're just going to pincer the units, which also makes a lot of sense. Double harvester up above for Khanomancer as well now. So their eco should be quite good. They are already like 4,000 ahead, sorry, 5,000 ahead almost, in total harvest. And they might be able to get a harvester kill here, but nope, the harvester did not go into the refinery. Same thing goes for this one though, but right now Twizzy has enough units so it's not going to be a big deal. Having your second airstrip close to the first, it kinda makes sense, kinda doesn't. Having it down here would have been able to like spider on over to this field more easily. And it makes it easier to defend that southern position. Oh well, it's not really something that matters all that much. Over here though, this is going to matter, because that's a lot of units, and that should have been, and it will probably still be, a dead harvester. What is Khanomancer able to do at the same time though? The answer is like sitting in the middle. Sitting in the middle is not what you want to be doing when your enemy is like destroying your buildings. You are now going to try and pincer those buggies again. But Twizzy has a lot of them. They're behind in economy, sure, but their unit control seems to be better. Well, maybe might be able to pick off like one bike. Nah, not really. And alright there, airstrip, second one is now out for Khanomancer, which means that production will now be about even. Well, was slightly ahead, but Khanomancer helps Twizzy out by destroying that little silo, getting them out of low power state. And well, buggy numbers over there are amazing for Twizzy, so watch out with that harvester, and maybe retreat into your turret. Just because once you're back to your turret, then you should be having a pretty decent fight, but just your units here, that's not great. With this number of buggies, they can easily take down that turret as well. Khanomancer might be able to get a couple of forces from behind again. Ooh, but they've already lost their turret. Most of the meat shield is gone. They don't have that many buggies left. And Twizzy just streams in their units quite well. Might even be able to pick off some reinforcements. Indeed they are. And are now going into like the other airstrip. Now it's a matter of like, what do you defend if you're Khanomancer? Twizzy, yes, please move and kill. Because over here, forces for Twizzy have been cleaned up. Twizzy had a pretty long time indeed, to, well, get something killed on this side. We'll retreat once again, but forces in the middle, they might be able to pincer Khanomancer's forces, might be able to just run in somewhere. Nope. Stop it. Right. Forces moving in, forces moving back, and we should also pretty much be back. Over here, 3 refineries on that field, 3 over there, 1 over there, that's 7 total. This is just 6, whereas, well, this one is insanely inefficient, this one is not exactly efficient, but should have efficient eco over there in the future. Khanomancer does now have a pretty good sized army in the middle, but how are they going to deal with all of these minigunners? Just 2 buggies is not enough. Maybe the flamethrowers could help, but then you need to move them in, because right now that airstrip is looking like it should go down. And well, a lot of minigunners still alive in the airstrip goes kablooey. It is gone. Yeah, that hurts production a lot, because now you're on 1 airstrip only. Army number in the middle is still pretty good for Khanomancer. And well, they are pushing in a little bit, but are not able to accomplish all that much. Over there, a lot of bikes, and bikes are a great strike force. Getting a kill on their construction yard. Not actually a successful sell-off, so that also hurts, because you really could have used that 2,500. Because by now, with that 7, like, harvester eco, yeah, Twizzy has also gone ahead and like gotten a like 3k eco lead, as in like 42,000 versus like 44 and a bit, sure. So like 2,000 ahead, sure. And buggy numbers, bike numbers in the middle, pretty okay. Fighting in turret, double turret is not great, but if the bikes just focus down the turrets, it shouldn't be too bad either. And over here, yes, Khanomancer does have some pretty nice forces over here, but Twizzy able to defend pretty okay, and if this airstrip goes down, that means there is no production left for Khanomancer. You know what? It's worth it to just snipe that. And Twizzy does. Now going back, look at the production. 2 hands and nada, that's it. This is like 2 hands and nada and double airstrip. did of course sell off the construction yard a while ago, because that's why we saw those minigunners, Joe and like engineer move into the middle. Now, one-hander nod. Did you really need to sell that off? Yes, you did, because you're on 10 power. That makes sense. Right, that means that inefficient eco, somewhat inefficient, somewhat efficient, double inefficient eco for Khanomancer, and Twizzy's eco is also insanely inefficient though. If we look at like eco, look at that, like 7, let's call it like 1400 versus like 2100. They're on 7 harvesters, right? How is their eco this inefficient? Well, that's because they've got a mine very long ways away. Going all the way to the big field, maybe going to this field. But nope, harvester even just wants to go here, it seems. Not that it makes sense, but they are definitely trying to do that. But Twizzy's forces in the middle should be good enough to just win the match, honestly. Artillery here to deal with the infantry, that does make sense. And infantry, even if they do take down the harvester, which honestly they kinda shouldn't, because the harvester should drive over them, it should still be fine for Twizzy. Taking down one-hander nod, and that means no production. Absolutely no production left. And that means these are pretty much the only units Khanomancer has left. And let's just say that that's not going to be enough. A partial sell-off, and a full sell-off. Except for these 2 turrets. Great. And artillery just taking some pop shots at the infantry. Match complete. Game number 3 between Twizzy in the yellow with nod versus Khanomancer in the red, also with nod. Twizzy going for the like slightly more efficient eco spot with like 3 little Tiberium fields close by. Whereas for Khanomancer it will be slightly less efficient. These 2 are still like in reach, that's for sure, and this one is also in reach. So it's not exactly a bad spot either. But it's not as compact or efficient as the eco for Twizzy should be in the future. Starting out with just a couple of flamethrowers and minigunners and all that. And, well, they're just intimidating each other. And, yay, one gets a kill. Alright, that's very nice. Twizzy already with scouting on the construction yard, which could be a little bit important. But other than that, we don't really have a lot to talk about right now. It's just 2 refs for both players, so that's all fine. So I'm going to ask you to subscribe to the channel, because I don't think I've asked you in game 2, even though I probably should have. But it's fine, I'll just ask you again if I did. Because hey, if you just do subscribe, and there are a lot of people who have, then there's no point in me asking. But right now, sure, sorry, but yeah, it is kinda needed. Because otherwise people don't click the button. Anyways, Apache over here will be shooting down some flamethrowers. And Khanomancer on 3 refs with like an extra little power plant. They are actually going for airstrip already. Twizzy is as well, but of course they didn't buy an Apache. And because of that, their airstrip should be slightly faster, even though they did move their construction yard a lot more than Khanomancer did. There it is for Twizzy, meaning that they will have an advantage in terms of buggy numbers at first. And Khanomancer did now get scouting on the construction yard. With an Apache, that could be quite important. Because of course Apache could damage it, and like then you have to heal it back up and all that. But going for the power plant first, also an important target, because Twizzy only has like 30 power left over. That's a very exposed and dangerous position for your airstrip. Turret is in your base, it's shooting your airstrip. So Khanomancer kinda has to defend really well, building their own turrets, okay, that's fine. But buggy numbers, that's like 6-2. That's not great. Your Apache really does have to pull its weight. And oh, no, that's an engineer, and ooh. I think Khanomancer was just in time, but that's the danger of having it that far in front when the enemy is literally in your base. Yeah, that hurts. So right now 2 turrets with no vehicles. This is like some vehicles and flamethrowers which are good against buildings. And shooting the power plant now in minus 20 power, minus 45. That's also not good, because now the production will be slowed down quite a lot. Apache just trying to rain down some fire, it's fine. And double turret versus just a single is not too bad. Luckily enough, they don't shut off when you're on low power, like an obelisk would. And Apache, why didn't you shoot? You stupid. And okay, airstrip now in the back of the base, and that hurts. The turret is actually facing off against the hand of Nod, not actually shooting at the enemy units, and now that's a dead construction yard. There is nothing Khanomancer can do to save it, except sell it off, and except you don't have it anymore. Does mean that they've got an airstrip, but they don't have turrets. They will not be able to construct any turrets, and that means that, well, Twizzy, who is able to construct turrets, and is already like in turret range of the enemy, should have a pretty good shot at like winning this. I mean, they've got good buggy numbers. They might be able to just get up some bikes as well in the future. And a little bit of gridlock over there. This one is also slowed down a little bit. So that's not great for Khanomancer either. Efficiency on those harvesters is not good. And minus 71 power still. So yeah, I mean the airstrip, they do have it, but it's not exactly efficient anyways. Apache minigunners is going to be like the main force, I would say. I mean, you need the minigunners and Apache to deal with the turrets, because your buggies are not going to cut it. You do still have like 5,000, 6,000 in the bank, so you are able to produce quite a lot. But losing the turret, it hurts, because you're not getting that back. Apache now going to shoot at the flamethrowers, and tries to go back every single time, because that's of course very nice. And yeah, buggy is now moving in. They should be able to just clean up these forces. And in the meantime, we haven't really looked at Twizzy's base, but they're still on just 3 rafts, versus 3 for Khanomancer as well. So eco is surprisingly even still. However, this field is like pretty much out. This field is not completely out yet, but it's not exactly efficient either. Whereas the ones for Twizzy are still pretty okay, I would say. Better than the ones for Khanomancer at least. And triple turret as well. Yeah, this is not a position Khanomancer will ever be able to push really. Because they've like only got the airstrip left. They don't have a hand of Nod, so they can't even produce infantry to deal with the turrets. Now, having just 4 buggies move in, I guess it is doing something, but it's not doing a lot. And definitely not enough. They shouldn't be able to take down the refinery, shouldn't be able to take down the construction yard. But I do think it's good just that you're distracting Twizzy. Because you are able to build up some forces over here now, which is nice. But once again, I don't think it's enough. Your harvester is now being stupid and moving forwards into the firing line against enemy turrets. That is not great. And I don't think it's actually an offensive harvester. Nope, it's just trying to mine right in the enemy base, where it hurts them the most, because now you're literally stealing the Tiberium, but you're losing a harvester in the process. That's not good. Your eco was not efficient. You were slightly ahead in eco a little bit a little while ago, but not by a lot. And yeah, well, Twizzy still with like multiple turrets, still with 3 refineries, with 3 active harvesters, with like decent efficiency. Of course, this one is being stupid, but yeah, we don't really care about that right now. I don't really see how Khanomancer wants to pull this back. I mean, they do now have double Apache, which is able to do quite a bit. Just because of the amount of damage Apaches are able to do, but come on, stupid. But they have to reload on the same helipad, so that's going to be quite micro-intensive. And this one going back with full ammo. I guess it doesn't need to reload at all, so that's fine then. And buggy numbers over here for Khanomancer are pretty okay, but now on minus 131 power. Like, do you ever expect to like buy anything anymore? That's a forwards communication center. Like, who does that? That's not supposed to work. You can't do that. Twizzy, are you going for like a tech switch into flame tanks or something? I mean, it would be fun to see. Stealth tanks even. Ooh, I would like that. I don't expect it, but we could see it, of course. Now, bikes being chased by an Apache. Shouldn't bikes be the counter to Apaches? They kinda should. Twizzy, now you're just taking the piss. Advanced power plant. Like, no, that's not what you do. This is a serious tournament game. You can't be doing this. You're building an advanced guard tower in the base of the enemy. No, you don't do that. Anyways, Apache will shoot at its own counter. And bikes will try to snipe something. Maybe an Apache, maybe an airstrip. Looks like the Apache is the target in this case. That's 1200 value just gone. This is 1500 worth of bikes. They took down 2 Apaches. That's worth it, I'd say. Yes, that really is worth it. And now, well, yeah, no, another advanced power plant. Are you actually going for like Temple and Nod? Honestly, yes, please do. I want it. Show me the nuke. That's going to be such a glorious thumbnail if you do that. I don't know what else you would be doing right now. I mean, you could easily push in. If you wanted to, you could just spend all of your cash on like units and like trying to defeat the enemy. And you would not have a very difficult time. Enemy doesn't have a lot of eco. I mean, this one is stationary. So it's fine. I mean, the bike might go down, but the Apache might also go down. Neither is going down. Okay. Right, obelisk of light. Sure thing. And it's shooting at the enemy refinery. That's now gone. Not that they needed it. I mean, they only have 1 harvester left. So it's not a big deal that the refinery went down. Oh well. Anyways, now facing the enemy harvesters. I mean, that's fine. Harassing that is quite nice. But I don't expect it to be enough. You're on 343 power. It definitely looks like you're trying to go for a Temple and Nod. And SSMs, okay, those are very expensive and do not have anti-air capabilities, it seems. And oh, why? No! No Temple and Nod. Oh, that's sad. I wanted to see it. Anyways, SSMs now. Sure, they shoot at the enemy and they kill the enemy. You really didn't need to do that, but it works. Getting close to the enemy though with SSMs is not amazing. And boom, that's 1 rocket. And that's another rocket, shooting the ground. Okay, so, engineer moving forward shouldn't be able to do anything, and it does indeed die. Okie dokie. And this is going to be GG very soon, and then it's 3-0 in a best of 5 for Twizzy. There goes the airstrip, there goes everything, and the game crashes. Great. 35,575 versus 26,600 eco in favor of Twizzy. So, well done that you made it this far into the video. Consider watching the video in your lower left, but that's all I'm going to have for you today, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.